You know, Obama shared his wisdom with me last night on Skype. You know, we were just chatting about things that are going on in America. Anyway, Obama was sharing his wisdom. He said, you know, Paul, I don't know how he said it in the exact frame, but he said, you know, Paul, he said, I was speaking to a homeless man once who was in Australia. He lived in a place for homeless people. And, you know, it got me thinking about how people are wasteful. And he said, you know, the man, he told me that he needed to go to the toilet. And he went and saw the girl who works there, you know, who was a hoarder. And he said, he didn't say ma'am, but, you know, he said, I need some toilet paper to go to the toilet. And this man, you know, Obama was saying, was very humble. And being humble, the lady got the roll of paper. What's she done? She rolled it around her hand once, and she said, that will do you. She said, you don't need any more. And the man who was homeless, he was very humble, and went to the toilet and wasted it. It just was not enough to go around. So he was humble. So what he done? He used that side, and then he quickly used the opposite side. Because it was a little bit dry, what he done, he carefully unwrapped it, keeping the guard over his finger, like that. He wrapped it the other way, like that, and he carefully wiped it that way, and he carefully wiped it backwards, and he was done. He was humble. He was a homeless, humble man from Australia, living in a men's hostel for homeless men, and this was the only toilet paper he got from the lady who was the hoarder of the house. Now, as he said, as the American president, Americans don't know how to be humble. This is what Obama told me. We were just chatting last night, and he said, Americans don't know how to be humble. You know, my wife, she wants the army to be a lot more healthier. So what did she say? They have to eat more green lettuce. Now, the people in the army are saying they're starving. They're not grateful. This is what Obama said to me. They're not grateful that they're skinny, that their pants don't fit them, the issued uniform, that they have to wear another belt, they have to wear 2 pairs of socks so they can fit in their shoes. They're not grateful. We're going to start issuing out kits, he said, to the army. And all we're going to do is give them some toilet paper. The sergeant has been drilled and been told this is how you give it to them, like this. That's it. And if they get a tear on there, someone else gets a little bit more than the other. That's how the rich people survive. They get a little bit more toilet paper than the other people. That's what Obama told me. So, next time people complain about Obamacare, they can't afford it, he told me, you just think about the people who are humble. The homeless man in Australia who made do with 4 wipes, and our armed servicemen who actually do get this much toilet paper in their kit, and why the sergeant gets more is because it tore off. He gets the extra little bit. I'm sorry, this is what our discussion was all about. And I said to him, well, what about the pensioners who may be missing out on their pensions, or it will be late? Will they be able to pay their fines if they haven't got any money for their gas and electricity? He said, you know what? We're going to give some money to Nigeria. He raised his hand and he said, hallelujah. Obama said we're going to give some money to Nigeria and Haiti because they're our allies. They're the people who are with us. They stand by us. They've got more because of us. Those people in Nigeria and Haiti have got more than us. But they have less because their shelters are smaller. We were building them bigger schools, better education over in Nigeria and over in Haiti. But the Americans aren't happy. I saw a man the other day as I was driving by. He had a little sign, need money for food. I read it wrong. I had to drive around the block and see it again. He said he needs toilet paper for a poo. It wasn't money for food. He was humble. He needed to tell everyone, Obama said, about just being humble as an American. If it costs too much, don't worry. It just costs too much. Africans aren't worried. We're giving to them. Bangladesh, they're our allies. We used to have little skinny children over there. Now they're very plump. America needs to be as skinny as me, Obama said. Then you'll know what hunger is. Eating the lettuce my wife gives me. Anyway, that was the conversation I had with Obama. I tried to explain to him that those people who are jumping over the border from Mexico are getting a better deal than a lot of the homeless people and low-income people in America. He just said, you know what, Paul? That's what it's all about. Sharing and giving. Giving to others without receiving back. That's what it's like to be an American. We need to give to those people, but we don't have to expect everything to be given back. So I said to Obama, you know, there are people who can't get on Medicaid. There are a lot of people who don't have incomes. They're locked up in jail just to be fed. He said, but we're looking after them. That's all he said. We're looking after them.